Hello, my name is Jack Welch. I I went to a Carmelite high school in Joliet Catholic High School. Became interested in the community itself. I liked the spirit of the men, the joy of the men, the community life that they shared. And so I decided to enter the Carmelites. I was thinking about it before my senior year, but I then entered after senior year and went to Niagara Falls. My 4 years of college were there with summers at St. Bonaventure. Um, Most of my time with the Carmelites was teaching at the Washington Theological Union. I taught spirituality and human development in general. One of my earliest memories, I think actually, was my first night there at Niagara. We were in a 20-man dorm, and there was night silence. You weren't supposed to talk. And someone was whispering. Two people were whispering at one end of the dorm. And so the senior in the group, whoever was the oldest by age or by profession, was in charge of any situation. So he sat up in bed, and he was at the other end of the dorm, and he said to the ones whispering at the far end, "Knock it off." And I thought, well, this ought to be good. I've never heard a peer be able to give commands to other peers, and there was immediate silence. And I thought, well, this is different, this group, that they would listen to him that way. So that was my sense of dorm. And it was a very, very basic 20-bed dormitory. Other memories I have were the sports on the fields. There were large fields around Niagara, and we played softball and some baseball, football, two-hand touch football, but a nice area, spacious area around it. And I enjoyed the environment that way. I also remember chapel and seeing the professed students in their white cloaks and chanting the office back and forth and on a note. I just enjoyed the classes in general. They were good fellows. I liked the camaraderie, and we have league games. We played, against one another. And overall, the community experience I delighted in. It was a good spot. And the fact that it was near Niagara Falls and we could see one of the world's wonders very easily was amazing. So it's a very unique spot. If we had someone in the hospital, we'd walk across the border and visit them over in Niagara Falls, New York, and then come back. And I remember one night looking at the falls from the bridge thinking, maybe we're the only ones looking at the falls right now. In the wintertime, of course, it took a different aspect of it and was also had its own beauty. Well, the leadership, Father Murray Phelan, we were in the first year of college. After we were professed and came back from novitiate to Niagara, then Father Malachi Smith. And Father Malachi was also our coach in various sports, but also history teacher, and then in charge of the students at that point. So he wore many hats, and very practical guy, down to earth. I found the leadership that way. They had their values, they had a certain amount of discipline and structure, but they were, as I say, practical people and good persons in general. Basically, we were getting up at 5 o'clock and had to be down in chapel at 5:20, and we were down there a couple hours because we had office and mass, meditation, and as I recall, breakfast was about 7:15 then, so we'd go to breakfast, and then after breakfast we would have house jobs, small jobs like sweeping the stairs and so forth. My regular job was being a barber. That began my first year up there. They lined us up and just assigned, you're the infirmarian, and then you're a barber. And I said, Father, how am I a barber? He said, well, you play the piano a little. That was close enough. So I did about 9 years of that on Saturdays, novitiate and also in theology as well. There were other barbers as well. Might be two or three of us at a time, but it was a good job. And then we were all pitched in on big projects. If we had to take the scuff marks off the gym floor, we were all involved in that. Or if we were painting this or painting that. But then you had your daily job too, and your kind of your regular job. So, and we play other seminaries. There were two or three groups we would play in 6-man, 2-hand touch football. They never lost, basically, up there at Niagara because we had fellows from Mount Carmel High School and Joliet Catholic High School in the seminary at the time. So they were very good athletes, and I know the whole time none of those teams lost. And then I do remember sharing the free days. I loved the free days because we had to get outside, couldn't stay in, couldn't study, had to have a long hike together, and we have some money to buy a sandwich or something at the end of it, or they would bring it, they drive it down to us. But they were pretty long hikes, and good. They got us tired and energized, and had fresh air and all, so they got us out of the house. Otherwise, we could spend a lot of time in the house. Right next door was this Lady of Loretto, the girls' high school. Yeah, there was. I'm trying to remember. There was always some shop down there. Oaks Motel was there, and our parents would stay at the Oaks Motel generally. But the big hotels they had now, they just weren't there. There was a place that had Belgian waffles. I recall that down the street, but there wasn't much in terms of. They always had this theme of macabre stuff in Niagara. It had to do with people going over the falls in a barrel, and then high wire walkers. So they had museums like that of kind of scary things. Is a word. That was one of the themes around the city. My time up there was all college time, and then 3 of the summers were at St. Bonaventure to get our degree from Bonaventure. And that was a good experience, too. Not too far away. We had to take 3 required courses each summer, and keep our regular office prayer schedule going during the summer. Then we'd have time down at the Niagara on the lake. There was a cottage down there, so everybody had their turn down there for a few days of rest. Here's some other memories that we had recreation after supper, about 45 minutes, and we played a lot of ping pong and pool, and we played for desserts often. So if you won, you hoped there was a good ice cream dessert at dinner the next night. The guys would get up and walk around and give their dessert to whoever won. So we had a lot of skilled pool players and ping pong players.